Hello everybody, this is Howard the Teaserking coming to you with week 5 of the NFL. This is the biggest week I've had looking at games this whole year. Now I've got more feels on certain teams. I know who to stay away from, who's not as good as I thought, and who's better than I thought. I have 7 very, very strong games, 4 locks, and I can play up to 9 games here. And it's just a very, very strong week. I got great matchups that some weeks you have a good matchup and the wrong team's favored. There's certain dogs I like to play, but I can't. They make them favored as opposed to dog in certain games. This week it's perfect. It just is a week that you just love to find really good matchups. Let's get going. Cleveland at Baltimore. Baltimore laying 6.5. Baltimore is just huge. They own Cleveland. They're 10-0 in Baltimore the last 10. Both Baltimore and the favorite. So Baltimore's usually favored at home. Baltimore as the favorite is 15-3 in the series the last 18. I know Baltimore's Steve Smith is out. Cleveland, they showed good at San Diego, playing a very competitive game there, which shocked me. I had San Diego laying 1 last week. We got the W, but it should not have been that close. I'm wondering how strong San Diego is, but they get Gates back this week, so that'll help. Baltimore at home just very rarely loses. They might lose to a New England or a Pitt. They don't lose to Cleveland at home. Division game. They got the win over Pittsburgh. By hook or by crook, Pittsburgh should have won the game 15 times. They let them win it. But now Baltimore has a little momentum. They got the win. They're at home against the team they always win. And they know they always beat them. And Cleveland knows they always lose to Baltimore there. You're laying a half a point. Take Baltimore, lay the half point. No worries. Green Bay laying 9 to St. Louis. St. Louis shocked me. I had Arizona last week. Arizona's great home team, best team in the league. Had the ball 5 times inside the red zone and got field goals or whatever. But this is Aaron Rodgers. What that told me is that Palmer got Arizona inside the 20s, so he moved the ball on them all day. They just didn't finish. Well, guess what? Aaron Rodgers finishes against this Rams defense. I just look for Green Bay to pick them apart. You're laying 3. Green Bay at home is 23-4 the last 5 years in a teaser, and that even includes when Rodgers was out a couple of games. That's probably most of the 4 losses are when he hurt between hurting his calf last year and when he was injured a couple of years ago. The last few years they're 16-2 as a home favorite. The Rams on the road are not anything special. They're a good home team in the Dome. Yeah, they beat Seattle, but Seattle, their quarterback isn't in the Aaron Rodgers league or a Brady or a Manning. I just think Green Bay, they just don't lose at home. Yeah, 9's a big number. Maybe it comes down to 8.5 because it has been dropping from 10 to 9. Here's where I thought Green Bay would be a 7-point favorite because St. Louis did win at Arizona, so they're getting no credit for that. I think this is a high line, but in a teaser down to 3, we can see an 8.5 and get it to 2.5 would be a great, much better play. But if you can get this to 3, very strong play on with Green Bay. Arizona laying 2.5 to Detroit. I love Arizona getting 3.5. Detroit is a home dog if you bet against them. 15-2 since 2009. They haven't been a home dog a lot recently. In the near future, they're 5-0 if you bet against them. Now it's 15, but 15-2 for the whole thing. 5-0 the last 5, which covers the last probably 3 years. Because I don't think they were too much of a home dog. They were a home dog this year to Denver and lost as usual. Arizona's going to be pissed off after the loss. Their secondary is going to eat up Stafford. He'll have at least 3 picks in the game. Probably a pick 6 if he's stupid enough to go at Patrick Peterson or whatever, whoever they go after. Honey Badger, it's not going to be pretty. If Arizona was able to move on St. Louis the way they did, even though they didn't score touchdowns, they got all these field goals. They got in the red zone 5 times. They'll do that on the Lions. They definitely will move the ball. The Lions can't cover Fitzgerald. Arizona's balanced enough, and the Lions really, it's just as soon as you put pressure on Stafford, he folds up and throws picks. You know, everybody's bitching about that play with Calvin Johnson. Basically, I didn't see anything wrong with that. You know, okay, so he taps the ball out of bounds. The guy still fumbled the ball. But the whole picture is Detroit only had 1 offensive drive the whole game. They punted, what, 6 of 8 times, so there was 1 other time they kicked the field goal. And then they gave up the touchdown on the fumble return, which was ridiculous because they couldn't move. It's like the only way they could have won was a defensive touchdown. So the Lions don't show me anything offensively. They're throwing a lot of short passes to Calvin Johnson. This Arizona defense, secondary, is going to eat them up. The Lions can't run the ball, and the defense is, you know, it's okay. It's not special. Palmer should have a big day. And Detroit always loses as a home dog. Arizona's not the greatest road favorite, but Arizona getting 3.5, which is what makes this play. Here's what I was talking about. Detroit should be a 3-point favorite in this game. In all realistic, they shouldn't be getting 3. They shouldn't really be the home dog, but they are. And that's where, if Arizona's the dog, that's what I'm saying. There's a lock if Arizona gets 9. I thought the line with Seattle was high at 10 last week, or 9.5. I had it at 9.5. I thought that was an extremely high line. I thought the line was too high. It should have been 7. So it's almost like Vegas sometimes makes the spread not to make the betting even, but to actually make you not want to bet one. You know, we'll make it so high that nobody will bet the game. It's almost what they're doing, or, you know, you can have it. But it's a game where Seattle should have won probably 20-3, and just one of those things. The fumble return for a touchdown killed everybody, but they dominated Detroit. Next game, let's go to Denver laying 4 to Oakland. Denver owns Oakland. Denver's 8-2 and the favorite, 8-2 the last 10 in the series. Denver's 7-1 as a favorite. I don't think Manning's lost to Oakland yet in Denver. This is a low spread. This is 4.5. You're giving too much respect to Oakland here. Denver's got a great defense. They'll be able to maintain Cooper, this Carr Cooper. They'll put pressure on Carr. On the other hand, good luck stopping Manning, because I don't see Oakland with this wonderful, you know, stop defense yet. Nobody's going to stop Manning here. Not this Oakland defense. It takes a defense like Arizona's. It takes a defense like Seattle's to really stop Manning. Oakland's not going to put the pressure on them. Denver wins this game easy. That spread's way too low, 4.5. Here's where it should be 10. You're getting 4.5. You're getting a bargain. Pitt, San Diego. San Diego laying 3. They get Gates back. I like San Diego here. Pitt got lucky against Baltimore. They really, with Vic looks kind of weak. Can't really throw the ball. He never really could. You get Gates back for San Diego. San Diego still needs the game. I think on a Monday night they get it at home over Pitt. I'm not crazy about this game, but I just think San Diego is the better team at home, with Vic as the Pitt quarterback is the reason. They should be able to run the ball. Pitt's defense, you know, Rivers should be able to pick it apart pretty good. I just think San Diego wins the game by 7 to 10 points, and you're laying only 3 here. This is the thing with Roethlisberger, the spread should be 3, but with Vic, how how do you say Vic's as good as Roethlisberger? I'm starting to look at over-unders here. Probably the top two would be Tampa, Jacksonville, under 48. Buffalo, Tennessee, under 48. And probably the Bears and the Chiefs over 45, down to 39. I think that's ridiculously low. Chiefs will score a lot. The Bears should score. You look at certain teams to go over. Philadelphia, New Orleans should be an over. Again, you don't know there. That's about it. The hottest trending teams in a teaser are Denver, San Diego, and Seattle. And the best play against teams are Chicago, Tampa, Tennessee, Jacksonville, and Washington. Meaning if whoever Washington's playing, they're playing Atlanta, you play them. Whoever Tennessee, they're playing Buffalo, you play them. These teams aren't covering. And not only that, but if you bet against them, you're winning. Just keep betting against the Bears and Washington and Tennessee and Tampa and Jacksonville. You keep betting against them, you win. And if you keep taking Denver, San Diego, Seattle, teams like that, you win. Green Bay, Minnesota's been hot. So that's what I'm kind of looking at. But that's at the overall, just how many games versus how many games are you winning? What percentage? If I just take it. So an example will be if we look at play against Washington. Let's see. Play against Tampa, 17-3 overall since 2014. Play against Chicago, 17-3 overall. Play against Tennessee, 17-2. Playing against Jacksonville, 18-2. So that's just the overall, 18 and So of the 20 games, if you play against Jacksonville, you'd have won 18 and lost 2. Just playing them in the two, not even knowing who they're playing, not even caring where. It's just saying Jacksonville's playing. I'll take the other team. You'd win 18 out of 20. On the plus side, is just not a lot. It's Minnesota, Green Bay, Denver, San Diego, and Seattle, and they're not as high as the play against teams. What that means is the terrible teams, the weak teams, mostly the teams without the quarterback are the weak teams. You just bet against them because when teams play them, that's their win. And it's so hard to get a win in the league that when they finally play these weak teams, they take advantage of it. It's just funny they're in the same division, Jacksonville and Tennessee, versus, and they're probably getting pounded by Indy. And then Chicago and Tampa and Washington are in different divisions. But anyway, that's week 5 for you. A lot of locks. I have 2, 4, 5 locks. I could have more if Green Bay comes on. You see Green Bay at 8. That's a lock. Lane 2. You got Arizona plus 3.5. That's good. And I got like 4 or 5 others that are locked. But anyway, if you have any questions or comments, please just message me here or on my website, www.teaserking.com. Please buy the locks. This is the week to buy the pros. This is the week to buy the locks. This pro week should be extremely strong. There are very good matchups going on. 4 locks, probably could be 6 or 7. It's that strong of a week, and it's just great matchups. A lot of times I'll talk poker terms, and I'll say, well, I want to bet pocket aces or pocket kings. But sometimes, as you know, when you play poker, you don't see those hands. You just see 2-9 and Jack-3 and 8-5, and maybe you see 6-7 suited. Hands that you just throw away. And some weeks they're like that. And that's why sometimes you push a little, force a little, you play the weak hand sometimes. I try to play the pocket aces, kings, and queens, and that's what I got this week. 5, 6, 7 games are pocket aces, pocket kings. Some weeks you just have 5-8 offsuit. You have king 5. You got jack 3. You got no hands to play. The wrong team's favored. The wrong spread. You can't really get into it because you're not getting the right matchup. So that's what I'm saying this week. I got pocket aces and kings all over the place. Next week I might not have it all. I might have, like last week, I think I only had two real strong hands and strong games. But most of the time, most of the time you're getting 3 or 4 pocket aces, pocket kings hands. Like I said, this week I got 6 or 7 of them. Alright everybody, well good luck to you. I hope you win. I hope these tips will be helpful for you. Don't make a lot of money. Have a great weekend everybody. Again, this is Howard Teaserking, www.teaserking.com. Thank you.